Welcome to SEO FAQs, where you get answers from your favorite SEO expert. Hey, Nick. Today's question is how to start SEO freelancing.
That is a complicated question, but I absolutely love it. So I've been a big proponent of freelancing being kind of a step in your journey after you've already started, meaning that I think you really have to build the basics. You don't have to be in the industry for like 10 years like I was before you decide to go freelancing. But if you can start, I especially really like starting at an agency in the beginning because I think you can learn a couple years experience within like one. But regardless if you're in-house or agency side, really start to build those foundational SEO knowledge, get the experience with various companies, websites, the technology. And then honestly, where do you start for SEO freelancing is you continue to be curious outside of that 9 to 5 role. So at that point, you're still going to be fairly junior in your career. I'd look for opportunities you can either volunteer or maybe charge a nominal rate to be able to help somebody who maybe otherwise wouldn't be able to afford SEO services. What you're looking for is kind of, the analogy I use is at bats with baseball. You want as many opportunities to swing that bat to hit that home run. But what you don't want to necessarily do is start charging a crazy amount of money just so that you can get those at bats. Because what you don't want to do is you don't want to feel bad when you strike out. You want to be able to swing as hard as you can each time. And every time you go up there, you're going to get better. So my biggest recommendations for just starting is just that. It's like get some of that baseline knowledge and then get the repetition, get those experiences because it's going to build. And even if you fail, those are going to be lessons that'll help you grow and become even better, when it comes to future projects and clients.
And what about SEO processes? Like before starting to freelance, do you think you should have your SEO processes all figured out or how to go about this?
So I'm going to give the answer that I want to tell you is yes, absolutely have your processes completely identified and built out. But the problem that I have with that in reality is I think then we get into that situation where a lot of people get stuck into like perfection. If it's not outlined and perfectly 1, 2, 3 all the way down to 42, we don't take action. And processes is probably one of the things that is a weakness on my end because most of my process is stuck in here. I don't necessarily have it done on paper, and it works fairly well for being a freelancer. But if I were to ever want to scale and have people that help me or build like an agency, it would not succeed. So with that said, it's a yes no answer. I absolutely want you to just jump into the deep end and start learning, get those at bats as we had talked about previously. But at the same time, when you can document those processes, it's building you a playbook for how SEO works and how you're going to win for your clients in the future.
And how to get your first customers?
Yeah, that's another great question. I think this is the absolute hardest part about SEO, or for freelancing at least, outside of SEO itself. For me, I don't have a perfect answer for this. I will tell you what I did when I went freelance is I went onto LinkedIn and I was very fortunate that I had connected with quite a few people and I went through my full list and I wrote down names of individuals that were either in a position where they made business decisions or they were, owned the actual business itself. I sent them all an email, or an in-mail, on LinkedIn. I just asked 2 questions. One was just, I'm going freelance. Can you provide me any tips? And 2, do you happen to have any business? I'm more than happy to help you. And most people are, pretty happy to give you some recommendations, especially if they're business owners themselves. And a few people were kind enough to be able to send me, a couple projects, some hourly work here. They weren't necessarily the most exciting projects. They weren't necessarily the best paying, but the best thing that you can do for your freelance career is build a portfolio. You need those at bats, as we've continued to talk about with this analogy. So it's like, get those opportunities, do the best work that you can, and then, make note of those. And those type of opportunities and successes are going to help you get the next client. And before you know it, you'll have a bunch of logos on your website or case studies, and these are going to be what sell you for all the work in the future as well.
And in your opinion, what are some common pitfalls you saw or learned about when starting?
I think a lot of people are very anxious to get the first client or second client. So they're willing to kind of say and promise anything that it takes to be able to get those clients. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for making sure that expectations are set properly. We've all talked to clients before where it's like they want to rank number one for these 5 terms and they want to do it in the next 3 months. And that's a red flag in your brain, but you might say, I need to be able to make this money. So it's like, I'm going to work extra hard, but you're really setting yourself up for failure and you're not putting your clients in the right mindset for being able to succeed. So I think really just making sure that you are being critical and finding projects that are set up to succeed is really key. And then I think the other one, and this one I've talked about a little bit before, is I think one of the common pitfalls is people start freelancing before they have their skill sets. And what I mean by that is I'm not saying you have to be an expert at SEO and that you would have to rank 1,000,000 pages, for their top terms making a bazillion dollars. But I think people just get excited again with the idea. We talked about pros and cons of freelancing of I can own my career, I can make all this money, I'm just going to do it. But if you don't have the basics down, you're really going to struggle to build off of that, which is going to make you struggle to be able to perform for your clients. And I can promise you that if you cannot deliver performance, though, they will not be clients for long.
Thanks, Nick, for sharing your valuable insights with us today. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and follow me and Nick if you're not already. Until next time, happy optimizing.